watch and burn.
Hey everybody, so tonight I am looking to discuss Rage Against the Machine's second album, and that is, I believe, 1996's Evil Empire. Now, when their first record had come out back in 92, or at least I think it was 92, it's almost like mainstream music or mainstream rock was very safe. In 92, I remember things like, I'm probably going to get the years wrong here, but around 92, I remember the Red Hot Chili Peppers' Under the Bridge was playing a lot, and like Ugly Kid Joe was everywhere, and it just felt like mainstream rock was very safe. And then Rage Against the Machine comes out of nowhere with their self-titled debut, and it's super fun, but it's kind of long, and it still feels sort of restrained. But then, come 1996, when this was released, I mean, Rancid had dropped, The Offspring had blown up, or Rancid and The Offspring had blown up, and Green Day was everywhere, and it just seemed like the 90s had finally come into their own, and there was such a frenetic sense of musical craziness going on. Like, a Body Count was jumping off, Ice-T introduced them to the world back on OG, and it just seemed like by this point Body Count had released Born Dead, and so it just seemed like Lollapalooza was on fire, and all these bands were trying new things, and Rage Against the Machine definitely got the memo, because this record did exactly what I wanted them to do since their first record, and that is create chunkier, heavier, more bass crazy songs that were shorter. And I got my wish. The artwork of the first record's great, but it's all kind of grayscaled. And then this jumps off, and you've got the kid is a somebody too. He's like a... So anyways, the art jumped, it popped off, the brightness, the sort of... It almost sort of had this sort of like... I'd almost argue, when the first time I saw it, I thought of like, it was like a team jersey. That was the first thing I thought of. And you could spot it from across the room. It was like Guns N' Roses' this spaghetti incident. It was easy to pick this record out. And I mean, everything on here is perfect. And there are still longer songs, like Snake Charmer's on here if memory serves, and that song is not short. But the majority of the songs are 2 to 4 minutes. I mean, what's on here anyways? It's fucking amazing on here. People of the Sun is rad. Down Rodeo is awesome. Roll Right is wicked, but I do find that the end runs a little long. Bulls on Parade is on here, which is like one of the best songs I've ever heard. Viet Now is on here. Tire Me is on here. Year of the Boomerang is on here. And I just like how fucking punk this record feels. Their first record felt like very safe and mathematical metal. And then this record just kind of flies off, and everyone's like, fuck this, we're doing the sort of Led Zeppelin thing, go crazy. And Morello's guitars are so chunky and so dirty, and Brad's drums have finally come into their own. It's like Brad couldn't find his voice in the first one. He's like, hey guys, I was wondering, shut up, Brad. Stop talking. Your drums are going to be heard. But on this record, it's like, yo, he's like, yo, fuck, I want my drums to be huge. You got that? And Jesus Christ, are the drums effectively massive on this, which is exactly what I wanted. I just love how this steps up everything Rage had started with their first record, basically. And that's where I'm going to leave it. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm not even sure if I turned to this camera at all throughout the course of this. My memory is getting really bad. But like always, if you like this review or you like this record, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. But most importantly, please don't forget that the world is actually a better place because you are in it. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to make sure that I use this as much as possible at the end because it's going to justify perhaps the lack of use at the beginning. You guys have a good night. You kick ass. I will see you around. Or whatever. Yeah. Good night.